Hey, creepsters.
Hi.
How you doing? Bup. She has to bup.
I forgot the bup.
How would you like to hear about some giant skeletons that were found close to home?
I would love to hear about it.
I love skeletons. Wait, what? Giant skeletons.
That's what I thought you said. Yeah. I was going to say, I love skeletons. And I thought, wait, did she say skeletons? Before I knew you said giant. Yes, I want to hear it.
Yes, okay. Well, this is from Walkerton.
All right.
Y'all know Walkerton, Indiana?
Yes.
All right.
Let's get
my
creepy.
Now, my niece calls Walkerton Walkertucky. She lives there, so.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Walkerton doesn't look like the kind of place that keeps secrets, you know. It's like around here, flat country, cornfields, creeks, old country roads that go straight until they give up. It's a land, like around here, everything seems visible, but the past should lie quiet beneath the soil. But so often, it doesn't. All right, so in the fall of 1925, a 70-year-old farmer named Grove Vosberg decided to dig on his land. Beneath the roots of a fallen oak, there was a small mound that had always nagged at him. When harvest ended and the weather turned cool, Vosberg gathered a few neighbors and started shoveling. 5 feet down, they hit dirt and rocks. 10 feet down, the same. Then, something harder. Bone. A jaw large enough to cradle walnuts between its teeth.
Ooh.
Ribs like barrel staves. A skull broad and heavy. Human-like, but wrong. When the digging was done, they counted 8 skeletons arranged in a wheel, heads toward the center. One appeared to wear copper armor, its skull pierced by an arrowhead still lodged in bone. Around them lay relics, pipes, stone tools, and bits of metal that looked to the untrained eye like silver or gold. The story was irresistible. Within days, the South Bend Tribune published an illustrated feature. By month's end, newspapers as far away as California and even Time magazine had picked it up. Skeletons of giants found near Walkerton, one headline read. For a small farming town, it was a sudden brush with national attention. The find seemed extraordinary, but the idea behind it wasn't new. Long before settlers mapped northern Indiana, indigenous peoples told stories of giant beings. So they've been telling stories for like a long time, a lot of myths. Warriors, builders, and sometimes monsters that roamed the continent in an age before, people could even, before history was written. The Lenape spoke of the Allegheny, a race of enormous people who once ruled the river valleys east of the Mississippi. The Choctaw told of pale-skinned giants called the Nahulo, feared for their strength and appetite. Further west, the Paiute remembered the Sitika, red-haired cannibals who made war on everyone until their enemies trapped them in a cave and set it ablaze. The details shifted from tribe to tribe, but the pattern held. A vanished people of impossible size wiped out in some distant cataclysm. When settlers later uncovered large bones or ancient mounds, they reached for those stories to explain them, and then they'd often rewrite them. Ooh. So according to the Tribune, part of the bones, the pipes, and the copper pieces were taken to the homes of the Litchfield brothers, the neighbors who helped them dig, and then after that, the trail goes cold. So no museum catalogs list them, so they're in no museums. No academic report cites them. There is no box in a courthouse basement labeled Walkerton 1925. So what happens next is anyone's guess. Some say the Smithsonian collected the bones and locked them away, a favorite conspiracy among giant hunters, though unsupported by evidence. Others think a traveling circus bought them as curiosities. I'd go see it. One rumor even claims the artifacts went to the Northern Indiana Historical Society, now the Historic Museum in South Bend. Wouldn't we have heard about them?
Yeah.
Could it be that all of it was a hoax? Maybe not. Archaeologists generally agree that burial mounds are common throughout the Midwest, built by ancient indigenous cultures such as the Adena and Hopewell. Bones unearthed from those mounds often appear larger or distorted due to soil pressure or mineralization. Without context, it's easy to mistake them for something extraordinary. In other words, the Walkerton dig probably did happen. So it probably did happen, but there's like no
Proof.
Evidence, okay? So still, in 1925, when the oversized bones emerged from the Indiana soil, the story fit that ready-made narrative. You know what I mean? The narrative of a skeleton in copper armor, bones of 8 other men, some period from the distant past, 8 skeletons laying like spokes of a wheel, and skulls in the center. The article described copper breastplates, silver-colored ore, pipes carved into strange animal shapes. One skeleton, the reporter wrote, might have stood 9 feet tall. There was no scientific verification, no archaeologist on site, no site museum inspection, no photographs. Yet the paper declared that the antiquity of the mound has been established, and the local native residents professed ignorance of its origin. It was the kind of story that begged for a follow-up, but nothing came. No follow-up came. So in other words, the Walkerton dig probably did happen. The bones were likely real, but their supposed size, armor, and white gold ore may have been embellishments that grew with every retelling. And once those artifacts left the ground without preservation or study, their story became all that survived. But they could be real. I believe there were giants. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. And I think that they did. It's a cover-up. Of course they're not going to have any evidence. You know what I mean? It's probably in the South Bend Museum in the basement.
Yeah.
But they already said it probably wasn't. But okay, so I do have to source this article real quick. This was written by Aaron Helman. He's an author, historian, and adventurer, and he is from South Bend, Indiana. You may have seen him around South Bend drinking coffee. That's what it says. You can learn more about his work or check out his books at aaronhelman.com, and I will link that in the description below.